I have breaking news. Are you serious? Breaking news. There's been, in the last hour, the United Nations has just called an emergency meeting. The UN Security Council has just called an emergency meeting after Russia has invaded Ukraine. I was just watching a moment ago as the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations was in New York pleading with the United Nations the fact that now Russia has invaded Ukraine, sovereign territory, with 15,000 Russian troops that are wearing Russian patches. Also, there are helicopters, Apache helicopters. There's also armored vehicles. There are tanks that have rolled in, as well as fighter jets. Also, there are 3,000 unidentified soldiers with no identification on the uniforms, but other than they speak Russian and drink vodka. What? That's what's going on. Now, let me give you the report right now. The United Nations Security Council is holding an emergency meeting right as we speak. It's still going on right now. I was watching part of it. After the Russian parliament gave President Vladimir Putin the go-ahead to send troops into Crimea following unrest in the Ukraine. The meeting has been organized at the request of the United Kingdom, according to diplomats from Luxembourg. Now remember, there are 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. Who are they? They're the United Kingdom. They are France. They are China, the United States of America, and Russia. But Russia's the one that's invading Ukraine. Are you serious? Meanwhile, not only has Russia sent in 15,000 troops, tanks, helicopters, and fighter jets, and another 3,000 special ops, they've taken over a military base in Crimea, Ukraine, and they've taken over the airport in Crimea. Also, they have pulled their United Nations ambassador to the United States, pulled him out of Washington and said, come on back to Moscow. We're breaking all diplomatic relationships with America. Also, they have a warship sitting off the coast of Havana, staring across the waters to Miami, Florida. Are you serious? Something biblical is going on here. The bear of the north. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And I don't think people are awake. Now, the Russian parliament has belatedly approved the development of the troops in Ukraine. They say there's 6,000. We have confirmation now. CNN reporting it's 15,000. So is the ambassador to the United Nations from Ukraine. Military helicopters, armored convoys are reported in the region also. Vladimir Putin has made a formal request to the parliament that he wants to be approved for this. He got a vote of 90-0 to go forward with military intervention into the Ukraine. So again, breaking news. The United Nations has called an emergency Security Council meeting because Russia is breaking all the rules. Russia is breaking the signed documents they had with Ukraine, never to invade them. They have. They are breaking an agreement they signed with the EU, European Union, never to invade any sovereign nation in the European Union area, even though Ukraine's not in the EU. They wanted to be. They have broken that agreement. They have broken a UN resolution after the fall of the former Soviet Union. That's why they're part of the permanent council, to never invade a sovereign nation without first coming to the UN. They have broken that also. I don't think that Vladimir Putin cares what anybody thinks. And he certainly, absolutely, positively, guaranteed, certainly could care less what the President of the United States of America thinks or says. Things is getting very intense. There's no way that America can support Ukraine. We could have sent 10, 15,000 troops maybe into KIEV just to protect the capital anyway, but we can't. Those troops are being out-processed. They're being kicked out of the army. Good soldiers, demoralized as we cut back. I don't want to see a war. Doesn't somebody got to stick up for the allies? If the allies don't stick up for each other, then there's actually, what good is being an ally? This is not looking good, folks. It looks like the nation of Ukraine will fall into the hand of the KGB. You know, you might take Vladimir Putin out of the KGB, but you can't take the KGB out of Vladimir Putin. And in my book, RFID, Mark of the Beast, it is a Russian that rises in the last days to play a major role in the end times. And in my book, Jerusalem Jihad, that just came out, I also explained to you the major role that the Russians play, the major role that the Russians play in my book, Jerusalem Jihad. Wow, something biblical is going on with the sign, all the signs of the second coming of Christ. I'll be right back if more developments take place tonight, this afternoon, or this evening. I'll be right back right here. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're running out of time.